Yeah, there goes the dishwasher. That's not the dishwasher. What is that? The dryer. What is that? Is that you, babe? Are you on the roof? Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that, and I thought there was a giant person breaking in. Okay, love you. During my podcast. This is a lot of chaos. Maybe I'll put this at the end. Let's start off with something else. Hey, you need a little update. I need to give you a little update. Y'all know this spring just kind of went by. Now we're here. It's the summer. It's the summertime. The concept of time really just kind of like boggles my brain quite a bit. But lo and behold, it is the summertime and we've got lots and lots of things that have happened. So I just figured I just need to tell you some things, give you some scoops. And maybe even some embarrassing stories because Lord knows we've got a lot of those to go around. So first off, the biggest thing is you're probably seeing me sit on this giant couch. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, look at her. This is a new couch. Oh, yes. We are on a quality luxury cloud cushion couch. And the whole thing is, when I say luxury, I mean new to us. This came from Facebook Marketplace, but it's luxurious to my butt, and I'm very happy about that. Let me give you the whole story because roll it all the way back. When we were engaged and living with Ian's parents during COVID, we were blessed by a sweet couple who was like getting rid of their giant love seat chair thing. It is over here to my side. It's like a big tan oversized chair. It's like not quite a love seat, but not quite a chair. Like it's best for one person or maybe two people. So we would squish our butts in that every single night. They gave that to us for free. So kind. And we have had that giant love seat chair since before we were married. So that's been about 5 years actually. Yeah, 5 years. And so that thing came with us to our first apartment, to our first home, to our second home. It's seen a lot of things. It's seen a lot of our butts too. We've done a lot of sitting on that thing. It's like the comfiest thing we've ever owned. And, you know, after 5 years, and when they gave it to us, they were like, guys, I mean, truthfully, this is on its last leg. And we were like, but to us, it's brand new. So we were going to use it till it really went out. But yeah, so after 5 years of additional use, after they had already had it for a while, you could start to feel the springs, you know, like you just start to feel metal when you're sitting down, and it was definitely not comfy anymore. Even like flipping up the little footrest thing started getting like caught, and we have all these cats. I'm afraid it's going to like fall on them or something. So anyway, it was a freebie. We were like, you know, this is really not working. And we do a lot of movie watching and a lot of TV shows, and just didn't really have like a seated space with a comfortable seating situation to do that. So we were like, we need to save up and get a couch. Now, if you have ever bought a couch before, I just am still baffled as an adult myself, why the prices are so astronomically high. Unless it's like Amish made or like made here by a local craftsman using local fabrics, like it is just wood and like cushionies and fabric. Like it's a lot of material for sure, but it shouldn't be like in the thousands. Like I see people spending like $12,000 on a Lovesac couch. $12,000 on a Lovesac couch. I'm like, what? What are we doing? It's like, what? So I knew it would be a big investment, and we were like not really wanting to spend that much money on it. So in my head, I was like, both of our heads, we've been looking on Facebook Marketplace for a long time. We would look and see a couch that we like, and then, you know, just something about the seller would feel off, or we'd inquire about it and then they'd ghost, and then they'd be like, it's sold. You know how Facebook Marketplace is. Then we were like, okay, let's just not worry about a Facebook Marketplace couch. You never know where those are going to come from. Is it going to have bugs or lice or pet smell or smoke or whatever? And then if you find it, how are we going to pick it up? Is it going to be too big for our SUV? Like, what's the vibe? So then we put it all on pause. This has been like over a year long process. Put it on pause. And then we were like, okay, we'll save up and just get one during a Memorial Day sale or a Black Friday sale at one of these like furniture stores. So we were kind of gearing up toward that. And I think Black Friday came around and we actually weren't even in the country. So we're like, there's no point in this. Then here comes Memorial Day. I was like, okay, Memorial Day is a few days after Ian's birthday. So I will like personally like save up a little bit and we'll go couch shopping for his birthday. So his birthday rolled around and he's 33 now, so old. And we just did some very simple stuff. I mean, we went to New York City, but that was for work. But like we saw a Broadway show while we were there. So it was a lot of fun. But then on his actual birthday, we were just working and I got him some donuts. That morning, I got him some Krispy Kremes and a Starbucks. And that was pretty much it. And then when it came to lunchtime, I was like, hey, extra birthday surprise. Do you want to go to Value City Furniture with me and find a new couch? And he was like, actually, no. And I'm glad he said that because he was like, I just don't feel the need to like go, and we'll probably spend like $800 was kind of our like budget. We'll probably spend like $800, but then honestly we'll probably spend more because we were looking on their website and things like the cheapest thing that was even like close to what we wanted would be like just a plush love seat. And those were like $1,200 and that was their sale. And so we were like, okay, we're just gonna not, hey, Saka, do not, see, this is the problem. Do not scratch the new couch. It's hard having cats. Anyway, so he was like, no thanks. We'll just like hold it out. And also let's just keep looking for secondhand stuff. There's no need to like add another item to the world. And I agree. So we went back to the drawing board, back to Facebook Marketplace. Lo and behold, we found 3 couches that evening that all looked promising. So I inquired to all 3 sellers. One person said, hey, I'm moving this weekend, but I'll leave it in the apartment and you could just come pick it up. Okay. But it was a Pottery Barn leather couch. Pretty nice. The other person said, no, it already sold. So I'm like, why aren't you taking down the listing if it's already sold? And then the third person said, it's all yours if you want it, but it's very heavy. I'm on the 3rd floor of an apartment building and I just need it gone as soon as possible. Because I'm moving. So that's what we ended up going with, the one I'm currently sitting on. And again, this can be a sketchy situation. So we were like, okay, is it worth it? Are we going to get really invested in this? And it's all going to not fall into place. But we were like, let's try. So he seemed really good about everything. He seemed like no red flags about Facebook Marketplace seller. He didn't have any good reviews, but he didn't have any bad reviews. He just had never sold anything before. And I think I dug around and saw a picture of him in like a cap and gown on his Facebook. So I was like, okay, so it's like a young college kid. He's just moving and didn't want his couch anymore. He didn't want to take it with him. So he said, pet free, smoke free, home, good condition. He's only had it for 2 years and he was asking like $300 for it. I was fine with that price and it looked just fine, but Ian is smart and he's like, ask for $250, just ask for a little lower because we have to rent our U-Haul to pick it up. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And then also we could say in cash, that way they don't have to like do the whole send me some now and then they ghost you and then you lose your money because I've done that before. So I didn't want to, ask for too low and then he just say no. But I went ahead and said, hey, like, because we have to rent a U-Haul and do this whole thing, would you take $250 for the couch? And he was like, yeah, totally. And I was like, oh my gosh. So we hatched a whole plan. I've never done this before. We've never done this before. We've never rented a U-Haul truck solely for the purpose of picking up a couch or like a piece of furniture. But I'm so glad we did, besties, because we rented a U-Haul, a very small one, like just the 10-footer. It's like $20 a day, and then you have to pay a little mileage. So I think our total was like $50 for the U-Haul, and we got the couch for $250. And I'm not kidding, like no rips or tears. Like it is pet-free, smoke-free. It's in great condition. And it is ginormous. But when we got there, like, he was super kind. He's like going to medical school and didn't want to move his couch with him. And so him, his brother, and his friend were there, and we all moved it down the stairs, loaded up the U-Haul, brought it home. And so we got a giant, new to us, cushy couch, perfect condition, for like $305 total. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm filing that under wins because that's pretty good. Anyway, that was my long intro about what's happening in our lives. I think after the theme song, I've got a couple stories to tell because it's been a minute. So let's do it. Okay, so I don't even want to theme this episode as embarrassing stories, but I'll put a couple in there because it's just kind of like life updates, what I'm into, and embarrassment happens to be a part of my life quite often. So I figured we could chat about it. But maybe I'll do an embarrassing stories call pretty soon, and I can tell your embarrassing stories because that'd be fun. But I do want to start with a quick update. Several episodes ago, I posted a prom and homecoming, like a fashion episode, right? I hope you watched it. It was one of our favorite ones to make. Ian and I went back and revisited our prom looks and our homecoming looks and kind of like ranked everything and rated our outfits and what we wore and shared some embarrassing stories. So I posted that episode and I got a very funny DM. This DM came from a wife of one of the boys that I went to a dance with. And if you watch the episode, you'll hear the story. But it was hilarious because she was so kind and actually sent me like multiple voice memos explaining more about the story. So yeah, go back and listen to that episode. Pause this, listen to that one. Okay, now come back. So basically, one of the stories that I told in that episode was about going to a dance with this gentleman who I had a huge crush on. He didn't know I existed, one of those things. And then we go to the dance. I'm on cloud nine. And afterwards, like the day after, he informs me that he is actually interested in someone else and planning to ask her to be his girlfriend. And I kind of like interrupted things with my asking him to go to the dance. So I posted that, right? Now, 12 years later, his now wife, who was the girl that he, was like, sorry, Andy, I'm not interested. I'm going to go ask this girl to be my girlfriend. They're now married. And so she saw me post the episode and responded and was so funny and cute about it. She was like, girl, the context that India, I did not know back then. She was like, I had been someone who asked someone to a dance and he said no because he was going to go ask someone else to be his girlfriend. And so when this situation happened and the guy I'm crushing on says, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend, but also this rando India just asked me to go to a dance with you or with her, what do I do? She said, she was like, I advocated for you. And I was like, you go to that dance with that girl because I know what it's like to be stood up. So she told me that story 12 years later, that she actually, delayed her own relationship status from progressing essentially to help me out. So thanks, Emma. You a real one. I just thought that was amazing and hilarious. And she was like, you have permission to share this story. So I was like, that's awesome. And how funny is that 12 years later, you can come back around and be like, I got you, girl. I'm a girl's girl. I love that. So anyway, that's one embarrassing story update. Here's another one. So, okay, this one's pretty sad. So this is recent. I'm at a wedding. I'm a wedding photographer. If you didn't know, that's what I do. That's my job. And okay, I posted about this on my Instagram, but I don't know how many of you guys follow that or how many of you are just here for the pod. I shoot weddings. We're at this long one and kind of give some context. This couple is really sweet and they moved right before the wedding. So naturally, like our meeting to discuss the timeline of the wedding day kind of got lost in the shuffle of moving and everything. So it happens to be like the day before the wedding. We finally have our call to discuss the timeline. Not a huge deal, but you do need to know, like as a photographer, as a vendor, like where am I going to be and when? You've hired me for 9 hours. What time do I show up? What time am I leaving? And so the day before their wedding, we have our call and everything goes really well. And we kind of realize like, because of, this is like a last minute thing. Not the wedding, like they had booked me over a year ago, but the call happened so last minute that they were saying like, hey, we really did want you to stay for the sparkler exit at the end of the night. I know we've only got you for 9 hours. And I'm like, you know what? I'm there. Like, I'm not going to nickel and dime you. I'll stay for that extra time, which was like an hour and a half extra for free. But I was like, you just moved and all this stuff kind of happened. We're a day away, less than a day away. And I don't want to make you stress out by one extra bill. So I'll stay because of, the shuffle of communication, all that stuff. So I agreed to stay extra, and Ian was my second shooter. And so we're there for the whole day. Obviously it was supposed to be a 9-hour day. It ended up being like an 11-hour or 10.5-hour wedding day or something. And so technically like we were off the clock at a certain period of time. And then I was just going to stay till those sparklers. So Ian wasn't feeling super great this day, bless his little heart. And he was, helping me do the photos. So after all the formalities and our time was technically over, I was like, go rest in the car. There's no need to like be on the dance floor. It's dwindling. Like I'm just really waiting for the sparklers. I've gotten 1,000,005 photos of these people dancing. So I'm just waiting for sparklers. So he goes off to the car and I'm just hanging out and I'm watching the dance floor. Not that many people. It was definitely like a summery vibe. So like people were hanging out by the campfire. People were like drinking outside. Some people were dancing. Some people were sitting. Like it wasn't that the guests were leaving. It was just like everyone was spread out and it was a larger space. So I'm just sitting there kind of waiting, for something new to happen to photograph. And I see this groomsman. There's only like 4 or 5 people on the dance floor. I see this groomsman like go up and try to do the worm. And he's doing it and he's doing a pretty good job. And I'm just like there. So I stand up and I take a few photos of him. And then a few more people kind of gather around because they're like, oh, he's doing the worm. That's cool. And then I see him try to get his girlfriend, one of the bridesmaids, to do the worm as well. He's like, come on, babe, you can do this. Come on, you got this. And everyone's a little tipsy too, except me. I'm just sitting there drinking my orange juice because my immune system needs supported. And she's like, I don't know how to do it. And I'm just standing there with my camera. And like, there's, maybe at this point, like 8 to 12 people around, not that many people. And she goes, oh my gosh, do you know how to do the worm? And I'm in a dress, mind you, I'm in a dress. She is also in a dress. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, you kind of like yoga, like go chest and then belly and then legs, chest, belly, legs, like kind of like that. And she's like, I don't understand. Like, well, can you show me? And I'm like holding my camera and I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to do the worm, but let me like get down with this girl so that she feels like, someone can help her. So I'm like, okay. So I put my camera down and I like get on the floor with her. And again, the dance floor is like dead. There's not that many people. There's like maybe a dozen folks around. Everyone else is like outside hanging out. Bride and groom are outside. So I would not have done this in front of the bride and groom. So then she's like, okay, like what? And I was like trying to like mimic the motion. And she's like, let's just do it. Let's just do it together. And I'm like, okay. So I just go for it because I'm like, what the heck? I'm a girl's girl. I'm a people pleaser. I'm not going to let this girl be disappointed. We're going to do the freaking worm together and it's going to be awesome. Y'all, I did not think it through, the fact that I was wearing a dress. It was a long dress. Like I was thinking long dress, I'd be totally fine. I'm not going to really go crazy. I begin to do the worm, and as the worm proceeds to flow in me, my dress skirt just catches a drift and goes whoosh, like all the way up to the granny panties. Like my bum is exposed. I feel the breeze and immediately like go and like just like stop and grab my dress and yank it back down. However, this was not fast enough movement because I knew my panties had been exposed. My cheekerinos have been seen. I have not been promoted. My butt, I could feel the wind. I could feel the wind, you guys. So I start blushing, but I try to keep it cool. And I immediately like sit up and I go like, oh my gosh, like, did you just see my butt? And I spin around and there were two girls behind me and they were like, oh my gosh, you're good. You're good. You're good. We didn't see anything. I'm like, liar, you totally did. And then this guy across the room was like, oh, you can flash me any day. Like he was trying to be cool about it. But what he said was like, oh my gosh, he totally saw my butt. Like he saw my granny panties. And that's the thing is I was kind of feeling a little down that day, like not down in a negative sense, but like immune system was a little low. So I wasn't wearing like my cute underwear. I was wearing purple rose granny panties, like Hanes medium to large women's comfort fit elastic waistband grannies. And honestly, it's for the best. It's probably for the best that those were what I was wearing because not so embarrassing. It would have been worse if it was like a thong or like a cheeky pair. Is this too much? I don't know. It's just my life. It's just what happened. And it was embarrassing. But I had to play it cool. So I was just like, oh, whatever. So embarrassing. So rude of me. And I just try like to not blush, not make too many statements about it. And I just like grabbed my camera and like ran away. I was like, okay, I have to still be here for like another hour. That sucks. So yeah, then Ian came back and we both got some orange juice from the bar. And I was like, hit me. I need something real hard, like orange juice, straight up. And then I proceed to tell him what has happened. And he was like, what? And I was like, no, don't worry about it. Just if anyone says anything about the photographer doing the worm and flashing a group of people, yeah, that was me. And he was like, oh, okay, great. So then later, even funnier, my bride texted me. She goes, girl, look what I just found in my camera roll. And there's a picture of me attempting to do the worm. Oh, anyway, so that's that. Kind of embarrassing. But the thing is, like, what's the thing with embarrassment? Like, it is, it doesn't feel great. I feel like small and, the butt of a joke. The butt of a joke. LOL, bad choice of words. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe people remember that one. You know what? Maybe they will. But you just have to own it at some point. I've been embarrassed in my life so many times. So many times. Like probably every single day that I'm in public. But there's also this like element of no one's going to remember. And if they do, then you're like the life of the party. It's very rare that they'll remember it and go, ugh, so embarrassing. And if they do, who cares? They're the low-life losers, cotton-headed ninny muggins. Like, it's okay, I think, and I'm trying to just own it. Like, it's okay to be embarrassed. And the thing is, like, I'd rather them be laughing at me when I have control over it versus them laughing at me when I don't. Does that make sense? Like, I'd rather be telling a joke or saying something dumb and like riffing off of the dumb statement for some laughter because I know I have control over it. And I know if they think that I'm dumb or embarrassing or whatever, it's like, okay, well, at least I'm like controlling the situation versus if I like legitimately, like if I trip up the stairs or something and like bust my head open and they're laughing, I don't really have so much control and I do feel like shame and embarrassment. But if I trip and flash someone, I can keep making a joke about it. So I got ahead of myself. Like I made a reel about it. Like I like told the story. I just put all the cards out there because I would rather, I don't know, make fun of myself. Hi, buddy. You like the new couch? Yeah. You're the best boy ever. Yeah. I'd rather like get ahead of it and kind of put the cards out there than let someone else run with a different narrative. I don't know. I feel that way with acting too. I don't do it enough of it, but there is a very like, I don't know, intangible self flagellation that comes with acting where I'm constantly aware of the way that I look or the way that I sound or the way that I am. I'm aware in front of a casting director or during an audition that I have flaws and that I don't look a certain way and I wish I looked different. And it's very human and very uncomfortable. And at times very embarrassing to put yourself out there and to make an audition tape that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even watch it back. I'm like, ugh, like they're going to hate that. What would it be like to be on the other end and looking at that audition tape? But you know what? Like that's kind of one of the things that appeals to me about acting is like, you do have to confront some of those icky pieces and you also have to separate yourself from it. And that's something I'm still actively growing in. I think with acting is going like, if I'm embarrassed to watch that take back, that's okay. Like, I'm not going to be the person watching this and deciding who gets the role. Like, I just need to like put myself out there, be confident and tune in to my performance, but not get over caught in the weeds about like, oh, I hate the way my nose looked in that one, or I don't like the way my voice sounds in that take, or how embarrassing. I committed. Like, no, like commitment's cool. And it's okay if you feel kind of weird about it, I guess. I don't know. Acting is so different than anything I've ever done because everything else you're kind of hidden. Like all my other work. I mean, I've shown my face on the internet and stuff, but like photography isn't about me. Photography is about my subjects. And being on Instagram and like posting things and selling workshops and teaching people, that's not about me as much as it is about the knowledge and helping someone else in their business. And like Instagram is just a public forum. So I understand like my face is there, but it's still like just a means to an end of like helping someone with something or advertising a service or whatever. But acting is very much, it's about you. It's about your performance and your embodiment of a character. And if you do not match it, or if you feel embarrassed, that translates, I think, when you're portraying a character. You can feel it if an actor isn't committing. And I'd rather go full send and commit and end up embarrassed a little bit to not land a role versus not commit and be too caught up in what I look like or sound like. Because that'll for sure not get you a role. And it just shows you've got your focus on the wrong thing there, sport. Okay. Anyway, that's just some ranting and some thoughts. So yeah, that embarrassing moment at that wedding happened recently, but we're owning it. And then what happened? That was more recent. And then I had a big wedding this last weekend. This last weekend was pretty interesting. I had like a concert and goat yoga. Super fun, by the way. Shout out to Hidden Valley Ranch. Hidden Acres Legacy? Hidden Lakers Legacy? It's called Hidden Legacy Acres. It's in Pickerington and they do goat yoga. You should look them up. It was a lot of fun. Then I had a concert we went to. Then I had an engagement session. And then I shot a very, very beautiful wedding. And this one has kind of an interesting backstory. Okay, so this one kind of has like multiple layers to it. This is what it's like being a wedding vendor. Layer number 1. I booked 2 weddings for one weekend. It was, a holiday weekend. And so when there's 4 days in a weekend, very popular for people to get married because there's more time. So I booked a couple on a Saturday and then one on a Sunday. And no, I think it was a Friday and a Sunday. That's what it was. And the Friday couple, super sweet. They, after they had already booked, I think, shared that they wanted to do a destination wedding. And so they were like, hey, we're doing it, but we actually changed our location to over here, different state. And I'm looking at the calendar going, I also have a wedding on that Sunday. Is it possible for me to be, in one state and then shoot the wedding and then drive back the next day and then get the Sunday wedding done? And I'm just thinking like, this is kind of a lot to execute. And I don't want to do a disservice to any of my couples. I never want to put them in a position where I'm traveling, hours before their day and putting them in a position of like delayed travel or whatever. It's just not fair. And so one couple had booked, the Friday one had booked, whoa, hello, buddy. The Friday couple had booked my husband and I, so a higher ticket item, and the Sunday couple had booked just me. So I had to make this awful decision, and I was like, you know what? I need to, do the logical choice and take the bigger booking and tell the Sunday couple, I could either offer them an associate shooter or I'd have to release them from the contract because of the new change with the new location, I just don't want to jeopardize anything. And so I make this decision and I reach out to the Sunday couple, offer an associate shooter. They say they're not interested and would rather just be released from the contract. Completely understandable. So I go, dang, I'm going to lose them, but it's okay because destination wedding with my husband and I, it's going to be more worth it, right? So then that's what it is. And I move forward with my life and think, okay, this is going to be fine. It's a little annoying, but it's worth it. Then you get that text that you never, ever want to get as a wedding vendor. The Friday couple who is out of state doing a destination thing, some issues in the relationship arose. They're no longer together. And they're canceling the wedding. And so, the wedding industry is interesting and you have to do a lot to protect yourself as a vendor. So I had not received the whole payment. That's normal. You only receive usually a deposit. And so I was like, dang. So that sucks for them. First of all, it's awful to end your relationship. But then we, as, business owners running a business, we don't get any more of a paycheck. And I already had said no to that Sunday couple because of this wedding. So it went from, $14,000 basically of income from one weekend to zero, which really sucks as a wedding industry pro. So then things go by, time goes by, and I'm like, dang, this really kind of blows. I actually reach back out to the Sunday couple and say, hey, the couple actually broke up. Like, what are the odds you still want to book with me? And they go, no, we found someone else. I'm like, all right. Then I get a new inquiry for the same weekend. And I'm like, okay, this could be it. This is good news. This couple is so sweet, so kind. And I'm like, this is a great fit. This is an ideal couple. They're madly in love. They're creative. They're ready to go with this. And they end up booking me, which is so exciting. Then we have the engagement session. Then they go ahead and say, we want to book your husband too. Yes. So all of that was great. And proved in my head, you just have to keep an open hand about this stuff. Running your own business is so up and down at times, but you have to keep trusting that good things will come and good things will go, but just be consistent and just keep showing up. And I'm really glad I did because I was so nervous. I mean, we did lose out in theory on that weekend because of everything, but you're working with real humans and, you have to be malleable. Real human things happen. So anyway, we got to work with this amazing couple. They were so sweet and kind. The wedding was a dream. It was beautiful. There were florals. They had their dog incorporated. They had a live band. They had a very high-end meal. It was several course meal with high-end appetizers and a 90-minute dinner. And the chefs were there on the property, making the food from scratch right there, kind of out in the open. They were doing the desserts and stuff. Beautiful. So yeah, it was just a wonderful event to photograph. But the coolest thing, the bride is a fashion designer and she handmade not only her dress, which is a huge accomplishment. She handmade her own wedding dress. She also made her mom's wedding dress, which is stunning, mother of the bride gown. Stunning. It was couture. And then she also made 4 bridesmaids dresses. They were all each personalized to each bridesmaid. It was stunning. Go to my Instagram and look up Abby and Andy's wedding day. You'll see it. It's stunning. And then she also inlaid all of the groom and best man suits with a unique custom silk to match their personalities. So someone had Monet, someone had Van Gogh. They all had different artists printed on silk that were inlaid into the fabric of their suit jackets. So cool and so creative. Don't know why I had to share that story. There's nothing really embarrassing to it. Oh my gosh, there is. There is. I won't say too much because I just name dropped the couple, so I can't be discreet. It's not the couple at all. It was just a wedding guest at that wedding got a little too slammered. And like, yeah, okay. He was like really drunk. Granted, it was like the day before. It was like a weekend. So like everyone was like Ubering, like no one was driving. Praise the Lord. He was really drunk. And I just saw him like in the corner. They had like a late night ice cream bar to celebrate, late night snacks. And he was just eating ice cream out of the dish. That's not a weird thing, but he was so drunk, he was doing it with his hand as the spoon. And the ice cream was like melty and he was like, like in the corner. Yikes. So I guess that's the embarrassing story from that one. But, well, I guess the other thing is that the guests had seen my TikTok about flashing the dance floor at a previous wedding. So they were like, are you going to do the worm today? Anyway, that's kind of it, guys. I mean, what else have I been into? I have been into watching White Lotus, like I mentioned. Did I mention that? Oh, I cut that part. I'm going to put it at the end so you can hear me do the the theme song. On White Lotus season 3. I like season 3 best so far. Season 2 was a little like too sexy and just like not much. I don't know. Season 2 was good. I liked all the actors in it. Season 1 wasn't my favorite. It was like fine. I don't know. It's been an interesting show. I'm not obsessed with it, and I really thought I was going to really like this show. It's like quirky and different and eerie and weird, and I get it. It's a social commentary. But there's an element where like the stakes aren't high enough. It's almost too believable, which to a degree I like and enjoy. I don't know. It's not like a show that I'm like going to recommend everyone go watch. I don't know. What do you think? Have you seen White Lotus? Let me know. I need to know. I've been watching The Last of Us season 2 with my husband. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. It's like zombies and stuff, and that's usually not my cup of tea, but very believable, futuristic, dystopian America with zombies and a very handsome Pedro Pascal. Someone said on the internet, this summer we're all about peaches, loving Pedro Pascal, and public libraries. And that is my motto right now, like the 3 Ps, the triple P threat. Peaches, Pedro, and public libraries. I couldn't ask for a better summer. It's going to be great. Okay, so White Lotus, Last of Us, and I'm still making my way through Glee. I'm still picking through it. I just started listening to the podcast Call Her Daddy. The name is always so funny to me. I've never listened to it before this week, and I just started with the Monica Lewinsky episode, and that was interesting. And then I listened to the Lauren Graham episode. So I think I'm going to keep doing it. I like who she's interviewing. I think it's cool. But I also can't really with the when she says like daddy gang, I'm like, stop. Ugh, stop. Anyway, I've been listening to some worship music from like 2016, 2017 era. And I've also been listening to the audiobook called Demon Copperhead. It's a book. It's not just an audiobook, but I've been listening to it in that way. It's like 22 hours of an audiobook, but I'm getting into the meat of it, and it's interesting. I like the story, and I don't know. I feel like it might have been better if I had chosen to read it. For some reason, like listening to it, I guess it's like the guy's voice. The voice actor isn't my favorite, but it's fine. Reading, I mean, I've been reading a little devotional. Haven't really been reading anything else right now. Maybe I'll read some more this summer. I have a couple books on my list that I need to get to. I want to read the new Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping book. Very excited they're making a new movie. They are doing an open casting, but what am I going to do? Post that on my Instagram page? And I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Talk about embarrassing stories. You want to know an embarrassing story? I was a huge, huge Hunger Games nerd growing up. Like, braid, Katniss obsession. I had a cardboard Katniss Everdeen. I wrote a letter to Josh Hutcherson, big fangirl over here. I drew him a picture and wrote him a letter to his mom because I thought she'd have a better chance of passing it on. Embarrassing. Ugh, embarrassing. But I entered all these different like online forums and contests and things. And I won a signed copy of the Hunger Games DVD signed by Elizabeth Banks, who plays Effie Trinket. Except, this is the most Christian unhinged thing. I was on a digital fast for Lent the week that it was announced or during those 40 days before Easter. So I didn't check my email because I was only like 16. What do I have to email anyone about? And I get after Easter's over, I get back on my email and find the congratulations email, literally from Elizabeth Banks's PR team that said that I was one of 10 people to win a signed copy of the Hunger Games signed by her. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like, please respond within 24 hours to claim your prize. And I was like, oh my gosh, for religious reasons, I was not on my computer. I bailed and I didn't check my email. I'm so sorry. Is there any way you could still send me a copy? And they said, no. They said no. Elizabeth, if you're still watching this, bestie, can you hook a sister up? Are DVDs even still a thing? Probably not. And that's concerning. And on that note, yeah, I guess I just need to wrap up and stitch the end. Okay. Yeah. Love you guys. Bye, besties. All right. Anyway, I've been watching The White Lotus. And that theme song is so cool.